crossed me.
My bad.
I was blind when they crossed me. I was blind when they crossed me. I was blind when they crossed me.
Check in, bro. I know this shit to the cash. I been used by niggas, I been used by bitches. One thing ain't never do is get in my feelings. Most these niggas never been in no trenches. None of these hoes don't put in my business. Don't need no nigga, don't need no bitch. Cause if I get locked up, they gon' send me shit. Got a bag, I put it on your head, little bitch. Y'all broke ass nigga can't tell me shit. L-O-V, that ain't me. M-O-E-D, right at me. I don't trust y'all nigga for all I can see. Most y'all hoes fucking more than me. Ain't for everybody when I learn these streets. Niggas don't show up for the time to eat. Jump in that water, but I hope you swim. I'ma tell that nigga I'm playing for kids. Rest of you broke hoes, ain't got shit. Want me to fuck, gotta pay for the dick. All love, I'm showing it to my frame. I'm trying to stay rich, give a fuck, I don't bring. I gold, not 10 mil a month. Want me to say your hoe, I ain't the one. Why be running up? Most you fuck niggas hard.
I was blind when they crossed me.
Jackass.
I was blind when they crossed me. I was blind when they crossed me. I was blind when they crossed me.
I'm in that bed again. I just went top speed. I shoulda knew they would cross me. They said don't not fuck with golf me. We carry Draco that chop trees. I get that bag and I put it on cause I know ain't shit free. We was in love, I kept her put up. I know she pissed me. She ride it like a 10 speed. I'm with it, gang, I can switch teams. I'm on her cause I was 80 pieces. Take on my watch, let my wrist breathe. We been getting money and we been thugging since we was young boys. Now look at me, I just bought a phone, same way young boy. Go to my shows when I'm drunk, boy. My youngin' that shoot up for fun. It could be they better, don't keeping my gun. It's just how we living, we come from the slum. Now when the police pull up, we don't run. Young rich nigga do what we want. Private jet, so I'm sitting in the front. How could you cross me? 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 How could you
I
cross
was blind when they crossed me. I 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 was blind when they crossed me.
I was blind when they crossed me.
I was blind when they crossed me.
Change up the topic, I got a 19 and it folded in my pocket. She gave me a number, now I gotta block it. I'm mixing the dirty bills in with the profit. Clean that shit up and I give it right back to him. If I don't fuck with him, then I can't rap with him. I wanna beat him when somebody catches him. I wanna witness and see that shit.
Man, these bro got hit his shit, no cap.
I bring up hits and they change up the topic. I got a 19 and it folded in my pocket. One hell of a year and the niggas still dropping. They wanted to stop it, but they couldn't stop it. You told a story like Shorty was feeling you. She told a story like she split the bill. But you look at my story, man, no one could write it. Now I see a million, I don't get excited. I might just buy sell my shit the thug away. Ain't no real sense in me going the other way. Can I be seen in that shit from the other day? Virgil just sent me a whole different colorway. Please don't be stupid, it's baby and gunner. And baby, you wanted it, so I just swung her. Next time I'm in Dallas, I look for another. You niggas fell off, you never recover.
Police on her taking wait till they bubble. Young gunner, I made this shit double. Hitting in your tail, left for the puddle. It's me drinking, baby, you know you in trouble. Run on my chip, my bitch burn to the shoulder. Samples of ill, but I been for my brother. Painted out, bled the interior mother. I drip like a leak and it's word to my mother. Yeah, came out the street, gotta sleep with a cutter. Family and bitch, we gon' eat us or something. My dick in her mouth, let you teeth or something. Sound like it could be drip season or something. Ain't no comparing, cause we number one. In black and white Chanel, I look like a nut. The police.
On a little bitch, you get hit. Give me that bit. Give me that bit with a key. I get that when I blow. I'm in that bit with a meat. I do this shit. Shawty saw me, she so deep. Shawty fuck me, she so deep. I'm in that bitch and I'm free. I put VVs on my knees. Shawty can't wait to relent. Over like you get you laid on your ass, you get play with that dirty bitch. I need a mess for this hit. I need a for my bitch. You know that chopper on me. You know that chopper on me. I get that motherfucker lit. Double C my shit. Don't you come out of my beat. Christian Dior my shit. Y'all ain't gon' fuck on my drip. Y'all ain't on my drip. I get that drip, you get drip. 2 220 out. I get that drip, you get drip. I put that bitch in my pill. I'm a little boy, we not some. I put that bitch, you get big. We ain't that bitch with no tip.
Like a little bitch, speaky box. Shooting that gun for the finals. I dropped the dub. I'm 2. Think up. Beef in the back, she rock. Pink product back. I finna 30 round gun. Fuck with that shit in they pussy. My shirt vintage stuff. I put them niggas in the game. Those are the snitching. Oohs, back to the team. Beat up that pussy, I'm Tyson. Oohs, niggas right. Trifling. Young son, don't call me. Rich white money, I love it. Just it like a target. Video, I'm a back. Way back. Nigga don't like me, then say that. Payback. Flex. Young nigga flexing on
A I get that drip, you get drip. 220 out. I get that drip, you get drip. I put that bitch in my pill. I'm a little boy, we not some. I put that bitch, you get big. We ain't that bitch with no tint.
Young Hefe home.
Chick.
For hell. Oh. This Torado, what you smoking? Up Torado. I got bitches and they model. You could swallow shit, you got. Don't look at my pocket, look like I just hit the lotto. Put up ballet, let them pocket, baby, I can pay your condo. Yeah, these bad news, I said my problem. Pick up bills, I'm being real. I'm to turn on, people tell me how they feel. I got hitters and they feel. I still be in the field. Now I be with them gorillas. Took my 90 clip for real. I took a bar, little nigga, my money talk. I'm that nigga in DT, every top ball like John Wall. Look at me, I'm living life. Middle nights with Chuck my heart. Middle nights I had a problem. Middle nights I used to stop. Middle nights I said that jail. Did not feel came with my house. Remember ain't nobody believing me till I show them what I'm about. Remember I used to pour that lean up till I fucking black out. Just throw me in that chop house with them fucking racks out.
I'm falling hard at water, I'm feeling like Coach Carter. They feel like that I'm living, I might not see them all.